All right, today is April 25th, 2024, and we're currently looking at EU on the buy side of things. So, what's going on? What do we expect? And let's talk about it, really. Okay, first things first, let's back out these to a 5 minutes to give ourselves some reference. So, over here, we had a 1 hour, um, 1 hour initiation. Okay, we can see that clearer over here. Beg your pardon, I drew it in the wrong place. Clean that up. I was thinking it was down here. So it's like from this leg here to this leg here, down to this leg here, created that 1 hour initiation. So what do we expect from here is basically higher prices, right? Let's look at our sell side drawings real quick. Okay, so there's that 1 hour. Now, what are we sort of walking into or like stepping into? Well, we've got this 15-minute initiation here. And if you look at what it mitigated, it wasn't much. Okay. And then if we look at this is a 15-minute also. So the fact that we've got a 1 hour, can it break 15? Can it break another 15? Absolutely. 1 hour is much more powerful than 15-minute, right? Even though they look the same size. In fact, that 15-minute looks bigger than the 1 hour. And I think this is part of things that confuse a lot of people. So let's sort of talk about it. So we've come down fairly aggressively, and now we're slowly engaging back up. So what is this? This is position accruement. Typically, if we are going long, this would be position accruement, and then they're going to just rocket price soon enough, taking liquidity out. So it's likely here will be the liquidity, and then up here. So this sort of gap in here um, could be an area where it's just reacted through very fast without really much sort of mitigation coming in, and then later on they could come back and do it. Maybe that's just an option, but suffice it to say, we have put in a 1 hour buy initiation. So back to the buy side drawings, clean that up. So we're buyers, right? That's what it looks like, at least on the lower time frame, and the higher time frame sort of matches up with it, right? So here's a 5 minute chart. So what were we thinking? A to B, down into concept, beautiful concept right there, initiates away again. A to B, beautiful concept. There's the area you'd buy, and we have been pushing up, 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 up. Okay, so now down to a lower time frame because things start to get more interesting. So yesterday, this is what we had. We had HLFC in and around this area. This actually became a handled range, A to B. This came down and did a H&L with a higher time frame face card. Face card was this one right here, the big one that starts right where my mouse is. Huge face card with IC, okay, with initiation and concept. So that makes this a really good trading op. So then as it's pushing away, we zoom in, and we've got this A to this B. Everything matches. Beautiful concept again. We get HLFC with initiation and concept. Okay, so that's tradable right there. And then again, initiates away, and they give us one more opportunity. Okay, so this opportunity, we didn't get the initiation like we were potentially waiting for, and this could have been the initiation, but the entry here was actually PMS, which is primary MS, and an MS is market structure, right? It's I've forgotten the actual correct terminology for it. It was made up by, I believe, NJAT, NJAT, and I got that from them when I was studying with them. But MS, market shift, I think that may be it. Market structure, market shift, I think that's it. So really what it is is a primary range was created here, right? And I guess it is basically an MS is basically an initiation. It's the same thing, but it's slightly different. So this should be putting in the primary, okay, like it is right here. And so we can see it took liquidity from below here. puts in that primer and initiates away. And then we look on the lower time frame because you want to see this MS, right? And so what would an MS look like on a 5-second chart here? Well, it looked like this. You're in a state here, and then you go into a different state here. And so that's really what think about what a market shift looks like. Boom, boom, right? It's like this. You're taking out the high, the most recent high is really what it is. It's basically this kind of thing. So as you're working down, this is a market shift. It took out a high. And so which is the high that I would use on this one? It would be this one right here. So as soon as this one gets taken out, right there, you then go long. And so anyway, and I'm calling that PMS, which is funny, but that's the name I've given it. So there's PMS, and then let's allow price to continue. Okay, and so we had that initiation. Where has it gone? Right, so there it was, right here, PMS, and then we initiated up, and then this turned into concept. So we had HLFC with concept handled, right? Handled, comes back in, same one with an IC again, and then if you couldn't have gotten in, if you know the IC, sorry, initiation was way too large. It's like here, here, down here, and so the best place to get in was this PMS, the next known one. In fact, we should look at this because this was kind of a cool looking trade if one had been available to take it. So you see, as we're initiating away, we're always thinking, well, are we going to create concept? And if we create concept, we've got to come back to the midpoint, right? Well, there's nothing built at that midpoint. See how it just sliced through? So we can assume then that this is sort of an initiation, just keeps on going. But what we're looking for is exactly what I've just said, the PMS, right? So what's the P part? The P part is the primary part. So let's look at the primary part. Boom. Here's the first primary that I could notice, right? Puts in that primary. And then this would be the MS part, would be the market shift. So as price is coming down, it's doing this. And then once you take that high, you're expecting continuation where this is going to be the low that holds. And that's the reason you'd want to take sort of this trade here, is because it created that primary, whereas this was the first place that was created. If you look through all of this, you'll notice there's no primary range created at all, really. Nothing gets below this line here. This was a range initiation, break of structure. Nothing come below here. But this was the first one. We had a range initiation, break of structure, and then this is the first one that came below. And so that's why you'd want to long here, because you've just had an initiation. What are initiations? Well, they're in the name. They're in bloody initiation. So price should be initiating up, and away. And so it took a while on that trade to move, but once it got going, there was no stopping it, right? So then back to the sell side to see what we've just mitigated, because we're having a mitigation event, which was here. And if we actually look at what has mitigated, still on a 5-minute, just so we can get it all on the screen, we can see then that we've mitigated into that 15-minute initiation block up here. So this is a very good place for a reaction. So we were expecting a reaction. Now, bear that in mind. We've had a deep reaction and come away. Bear in mind how we've mitigated. HL with concept only. That's it. HL. No face card. No initiation. Okay? It kind of looks initiation-y, but it's just not. It's not because of the weird wick and where it is. If we turn this off, you'd have to say this is a liquidated state, and then down here into a liquidated state, and then it snaps up. It's not what we're looking for as far as an initiation. So that's not how I'd be playing for that one, right? So bear in mind, we just had that crappy mitigation. Okay, we're just going to call that a crappy mitigation, and price reacted down. Now, back to the buys, back to the buy side. When the buys came down, right, here's that reaction, pushed right down. It stopped here. HLFC with initiation and concept. And the important part of this one, I think, is this where it stopped. Okay, so yes, HLFC with IC, right, with concept and initiation, but where it stopped was this block here that did a higher time frame face card. Remember, this face card is huge. And so I even wrote down on here at the time HL with a higher time frame face card. And so that's important that it's come down to mitigate the exact same location. You know, this is the block that's holding. We expect that block to hold because it's a higher time frame mitigation. What happened? Comes down, doesn't take the liquidity from below here, but just stops. So what am I thinking? Continuation longs. I'm thinking we're going to take this high out, weak mitigation, strong mitigation. Okay, weak high, strong low. It's really how I'm feeling at the moment. Now, to get this sell with this shitty mitigation here to play out, I'm going to need to ideally break structure down here. Okay, that's the ideal thing. But if we can come up, let's say we have a shitty mitigation, and then we break structure, right? That's the key part here. We break some sort of structure internal. And then if we come back up, I will be looking for HLFC with IC. I'll be looking for what I usually look for, right? The nuts, basically, if I get that break in structure. Because there is a really good chance as well that the market could be putting this as a high in. And so we'll want to see, does it put this as a high in and then break structure, confirming that the high can sustain. So once we've had this shit mitigation and we've worked our way down, right, we don't know where we're going to stop, or we didn't know, but we stopped here. And so now we've come back past the midpoint. Now, to confirm that this isn't a good mitigation or one that's going to hold, I'm going to need break of structure, continuation, right, of this block. And so we obviously haven't had that yet. And so it's going to be the exact same thing. Let's say we get that shit mitigation up here, because we can't be a good mitigation up here. We can't get the FC in there. We can't get everything we want to see. So it's going to have to be a shit mitigation. And then we're going to have to let price break structure, get down here. And if it works its way back up, then we can start to look for continuation shorts. But as of right now, no continuation shorts. The ideal place to look for continuation shorts would be if it broke structure down here. That'd be the ideal place. But since that's quite far away, we will allow it to break internal structure and then to continue looking for shorts. As of right now, it's as of right now, we are buys only, right? We're looking for buys only, and we're not going to be messing around with the shorts at all. We're in a weird sort of place, but we'll definitely be looking for buys, especially after a 3-minute initiation that got put in here, which is very recent. Tells me that there's no opposition against this 3-minute initiation. Now, if we get putting in initiations, back-to-back initiations without that break of structure, that's going to somewhat concern me. But we haven't had a reverse initiation. So I'm not really interested in the shorts at all. Even if we did get back to back initiations like this, I feel like I would still be looking at the continuation long as opposed to the continuation short. Okay, that's where we are right now in price and time. Best of luck with your trading. There's my analysis of what's going on with EU right this second on April 25th. All right, peace out. Catch you on the next one.